This is Cheryl Hirsch with Hirsch Parent Coaching. Today I want to talk about guilt. I have been thinking about it a lot for a couple of reasons. One is that I believe that parents carry a lot of guilt. There's a lot of parent blame out there. And I often, want for parents to look at guilt in a different way and let it go. I was also asked by my synagogue on Monday is Yom Kippur, the day that you're viewing this. I'm actually taping this a little bit early due to the holiday. And I decided to do a discussion on the topic of guilt. And I started thinking about it, and the more I researched and looked at it, I realized that guilt can actually be a good thing. I had always thought that it was something that was not good for us, and I really, my intention in looking at it was to tell parents to let go of guilt, that it's not doing us a service. However, when I started researching, as I just said, I looked up Brene Brown. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her work. She is one of my heroes. I love her. And I had remembered in one of the books that I had read of hers, she talks about shame versus guilt. Shame is I am bad. Guilt is I did something bad, but you are not bad. So that's just a simple example. And she goes on to say that shame can be very harmful to people. It can lead to depression, drug abuse, all sorts of things. However, the guilt is very adaptive and can actually be used for good. And some of the other things I researched, one person talked about guilt making us victims and that it can be a negative thing. Another person wrote about guilt and that it can be a good thing if we don't just let it sit there and we do something good with it. So my 2 tips for today for you to think about, and actually doing it on a whiteboard so I don't have to waste paper. Tool number 13 is set realistic expectations. And tool number 14 is use guilt wisely. And why do I say set realistic expectations? Parents, I think if you sat down and wrote everything you're doing well, your list would be so long. There's so many things that a parent is responsible for their child, and due to negative bias, that's how we're wired, we focus on those things that we didn't do that day or we could have done better. And that's why I say set realistic expectations. We can only do so much, and I feel like I don't want you to be so hard on yourself. It's really not helpful, and I just want you to focus on the good that you're doing. However, with guilt, use it wisely. Sometimes we do mess up and we do feel bad. We're human, and we are gonna feel bad about some of the things that we do. You may have hurt your child's feelings, or you just weren't organized that day to have things work smoothly, all sorts of things. So think about it. Think about how you can use the guilt in a positive way. How can you learn and grow from it and perhaps do better next time? So that's what I mean by use guilt wisely. Just help us to grow. We're always growing, we're always learning. And I think when we mess up, which we are going to inevitably do, just think about how we can do better next time. But again, don't let it fester, don't let it sit. And sometimes we just need to let it go. So I hope this is helpful. I know guilt can be a complicated emotion, feeling, and sometimes we just need to accept it, think about it, move forward, and grow. So wishing you all well. Please, I'd be really curious to know what your relationship with guilt is. You can leave me a comment, reach out. I would love to hear from you. Bye-bye.